Hello, welcome and good evening. Before we begin, I would like to give a huge shout out to my active patron members. A big thank you to Zero, Rachel C, Makoto, Bedtime, Stella, Kupameo, Elliot, Spam Chip Chip 144, Juniper Turn, Cloaked Pelt 29, Aylin, Aaron Tash, Kiyumi, Kit Kat 0406, Gwendolyn Adams Bone, Azura Akamore, Canuck, Emma, Knock on Wood, Nobody at All, Agatha, Ragecat 888, Amy Wires, The Octahat, Evelyn Puppy, Dzib, Rosebout, Nunberg, Fish Salad, Entari Akiyama, Sarha Smith, Valkyr Tenno, Rylanor, the fan of a truly iconic Foxo, Galahad, Salcor Agaris, Marissa Cursida-Same, Benifer the Potato, Genetic Zero, ZT Mackin, Songbird, Kyra, Void Dweller, Teethra 5, Morning Owlet, Elster Shiny Things, Tarsies, Jessica, Amy Olgers, Tiny Portal, Chloe, Bear the Space Witch, Ellipses, CM Fireflies, Some Guy, Ghost 48, Joanna, Indigo, Aylin, Kai, Denny Babani, TGS TGA, Readable Vaporeon, Eden, Mick Shepherd, Captain Aardvark 986, Lily Adams, Hazel, Archibald, Blue Goo, Alice, Colic 92, Freya 19, Prophecy Fulfilled, DFA Plays, Robot Waifu, and Bloodmoth. Thank you so very much for all of your support. It truly means the universe to me. The voice you are listening to is Cutiefox, otherwise known as Nico. We spare no expense. Hi! Hello! Also is excellent timing because our wonderful demon fox Sakura just came through the door. Say hello!
Hi.
Hi. I'm hoping that this is going to be a little bit of a laid-back stream because, I don't know, my throat's been hurting all day and I'm kind of worried that I'm coming down with something. Everything okay? Ah, many thanks. I always hate the taste of this, though. For the context, it's basically some sort of spray to help with one's throat and voice. So, and it tastes absolutely foul, too, so.
But it works.
Yeah, but it works. Akira swears by it. Do I shake it first?
You can.
Might as well. Oh. Your health? Mm.
2 more head.
2 more?
Of the full effect. I'm back. Where's the back?
Oh,
Where's the back?
I did. What do you think I'm doing?
Last one.
What?
Last one.
What? Oh. Ugh. Bleh. 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 Golly. Bleh.
Medicine tastes bad.
Well, it's not that the medicine is bad, it's just that it has a very unique taste to it.
Yeah, cricket sucks.
Hi. Hi, Trainmaster. Hey, Aether. Hi, Time Marshal. Welcome, Emma. Welcome, random internet surfer surfing the internet. Hey, Nathan. And hello, Nix. It's so very good to see you. Thank you so very much for stopping by. It truly means the universe to me. Oh, you got tea on your way home? Thank you so very much. Tea's amazing. I like tea. I should have probably brewed some before I started streaming. Well, that's new. I'll give that a shot sometime.
One for you, one for me. So I'll put it in the fridge.
Cheerio.
It's supposed to be better for your tummy.
Random says, good news. Discord delayed the verification thing to the next half of the year. Hope we find an alternative by that time. I'm currently working on a couple of alternatives. One of which is by using a certain Matrix type server, and Matrix is its own sort of thing. So I've just been like looking around and seeing what I can find and hope that we can move to a good place where we aren't under the thumb of Discord anymore. And hopefully have a place that has, honest to goodness, end-to-end encryption. RE9 out this Friday? Excellent! I don't know if I'll be able to play it. I've kind of been trying to pinch as many pennies as I can. I've been spending far too much. I kind of splurged either yesterday or the day before for a pizza because, well, honestly, I was feeling really, really crappy. And I felt that I, deserved a treat after all the stuff that had happened. Have you ever been there? Have you ever been in a spot where you feel absolutely horrible and you just feel like, yeah, just this once, I deserve something special, like a piece of food or drink that I'm going to get myself? Right time, Marshall? I'm not going to go into too many specifics. It is relatively an IRL thing. The long and short of it is that drama followed me. I got embroiled in some stuff. Nothing too bloody serious. Question mark. I think that there is going to be some legal proceedings, though. I've not been sued, I don't think, and I'm not suing anyone else, just in case you were wondering. Thank you, Emma. Nick says, yeah, that's what usually happens when I buy books and eat sushi. Nathan says I got to play that. What, Resident Evil 9? Congratulations. Also, I know that this says that it's the the writing stream where I write again. And that is going to be true. I am going to be doing some writing here and there as best as I can. But I'm also going to try to record something on stream. Nick says I'm gonna try to record some videos in regards to being able to beta test a game update. Okay. Nathan says, no, I meant I got to play it when it comes out. You get to play it. Oh. Using got kinda gave me the impression that you already played it. Which made me go, oh, well, congratulations. So you pre-ordered it. Nick says, hope I don't hate my voice. Well, speaking from my own personal experience, I never really stopped disliking parts of my voice. It's why I kind of try to work as hard as I can to get it somewhat better. Thank you so very much. Akira says, hopefully I'll be able to get back in the booth like Sis. Yeah, I should probably try to get things back in the booth as well. I actually am planning on recording something super special. It is going to be like the Matrix AU. Yeah, you remember The Matrix? You remember that trans allegory film that is just so absolutely wonderful? That stars Keanu Reeves? Well, you're gonna get an ASMR audio set in that, in a version of that world. So I'm excited to record it. And I think it's gonna be absolutely perfect for, my particular, what's the word I'm looking for here? How my voice is right now. It is going to be a slightly more laid-back recording thing because we're gonna be recording the yandere Matrix agent. An agent of the Matrix that, like Smith before her, goes rogue, but goes rogue in a unique way. Ty says, pre-ordered mine midnight Thursday, I get to play it. Who? Nathan says, and no, I did not pre-order it. I see. Nick says, might mute the audio and just have text overlays. Huh. Is the audio too much for you, Nix? Nick says, I made a bowl today and somehow got clay in my hair earlier today. Yeah, it's like glitter. Glitter will end up places that glitter has no right to be. Because glitter is quite literally the herpes of the universe. It is just an absolutely horrible, infectious thing that originated from the crafting world. Ty says, we finally got a release date for the Wolverine game. I don't know. I'm not really hyped for video game releases anymore. I mean, I used to be. I used to be pretty darn hype about video game releases here and there. I remember being fairly hyped when Resident Evil 3 Remake was announced. And then when it came out and it was absolutely gutted to high heaven and back, to the point where I did the Godfather meme. I was like, look at how they massacred my girl! My baby girl! Look at how they absolutely eviscerated her! And from then on, I just never quite regained a level of faith to, like, expect good remakes of games or good, like, releases of games. And I think that's a slightly good position to have because you can be pleasantly surprised when a good release happens. But it also means that you have realistic expectations when a flop happens. At least that's, generally speaking, what my experience is. It's different for everyone. Pray tell, do you look forward to video game releases? If so, under what circumstances? Nick says stream audio I don't mind, but for the video I might have text overlays instead of my voice. I see. Winter says new games just cost too much now. Yeah, I can't buy games when they're full price. I just can't. I will constantly wait for when it's, like, available on Steam, if it's going to be available on Steam, and if so, I'm gonna wait for it to be on sale on Steam. For hopefully less than 20 bucks, because if it's less than 20 bucks, I can snag it. It's kind of what I'm waiting for in regards to Baldur's Gate 3. I want to play it, but I don't want to pay full price for it. I am very cheap in that regard. And besides, I've got, like, a full game library backlogged filled with games I've never played before that I still need to play. So I'm gonna be here a bit. This coming also from the girl who is kind of working on a Final Fantasy X playthrough and is trying to get her characters all leveled up to face the Dark Aeons for the first time. I've never legitimately beaten the Dark Aeons before. I think it was actually like... That actually reminds me... Okay, story time. We are going far off track here, but it goes back to when I was still living in Cali and, like, still regularly interacting with my blood uncle. And it's kind of one of the tiffs that we had. One of the tiffs. I think that it was like a major... Okay, yeah, that was a rogue thought. There were, like, a lot of points of contention between the two of us because I would constantly be, like, walking around eggshells around him, and he was never emotionally mature. Meaning that if he lost his temper, he lost it big time. And when he loses his temper big time, you wanted to be anywhere else. You wanted to be anywhere else in the universe but that room. Which gives you a sort of idea of how I handle conflict, by trying to avoid it most of the time. Not exactly a healthy response, but that's how I do. And one of our points of contention, I think, was the Dark Aeons. Because occasionally we would, like, play Final Fantasy X together, and we would take, like, turns on my particular save file. And, well, he got in the habit of using Yojimbo's Zanmato on them. Say what you will about Yojimbo's Zanmato. God, my brain. Say what you will about Yojimbo's Zanmato, I don't want to use Zanmato on the Dark Aeons or Penance. I kinda want to beat those legitimately, without resorting to that, because if you spam Zanmato, in my opinion, you're being cheap. You're bitching out of the boss fight because you can't beat it legitimately. And he would resort to using Zanmato on them, like, by, like, roaming around the, the world, because he didn't actually know that they existed, and then he would use Zanmato on them. I was like, wait, I kind of want to beat those legitimately, please! And so that was like a minor tiff. The major tiff happened during the segment of the Bavel Cloister of Trials. If you remember the Bavel Cloister of Trials, you might remember it as being a bit frustrating. As in, you don't quite know where you're going. It is a bit of a maze. And it's also one of those missables. You can miss the treasure in that game. And if you miss the treasure in that game, I think you can't get it back? Trying to think if that's the case? Maybe. I don't know. All I remember is I was being navigator and he had the controllers, and I was like, okay, you gotta go right here. And I was just like constantly throwing directions like left, right, this way, that way, and eventually, because it got a bit stressful, it came to a head where he threw the controller down and just basically just refused to, like, refused to play the game any further. So that's my story, and I don't know why it popped into my head other than it just connected vaguely to the Dark Aeons, and I remembered vaguely having some form of tiff about that. Also, that's a very, very fun word. Tiff. Like a shortening of Tiffany, but also just being a word that I'm using in reference to my light grumblings. Gesundheit! You're welcome! So now I'm gonna look at the etymology of tiff. A petty quarrel, especially one between friends or lovers. Oh gosh. Thinking about it, I could not call my uncle, a friend. He very tenuously was... He was a relative. He was an acquaintance. I don't quite know how to categorize him beyond that, because there were, like, periods of time living in that place where we were not looking forward to being in the same room with one another. It's usually a time marked not with cookies or get-togethers or game nights, but by bloodshed and mutual hostility. Not actual bloodshed, but I fear that it might get to that point. He was not, like, averse to throwing his weight around. Time Marshall says the new James Bond game is out in May. Been waiting for a long time for a new Bond game. I don't... Props to you if you like the James Bond series. I don't. I don't know what it is. There is something about it that repulses me. You know, usually I'm neutral regarding it, and just thinking about it makes me feel kind of squeamish, actually. I think it's his treatment of women, honestly. Just from what I had seen, I could be sorely mistaken. But I don't, like... For some irrational reason, I feel absolutely repulsed by the James Bond series. Toxic Mind says, that sounds like an enemy. Huh. I suppose so. I just never really had the guts to stand up to him, like... and actually show a level of courage. Courage was either stamped out completely in my early years, and I just never developed it. Or I don't know, I probably inherited it from my blood parents or something, I don't know. I tend to be rather cowardly when confrontation happens. It's something I'm working on. Something I'm definitely working on. And it's something that I feel that I've worked on heavily, especially with this, previous crisis that happened, like, a couple weeks ago. Because I had to confront something. I had to confront it right now, and it took a measure of strength that ebbed and flowed and nearly left me. Yeah, confrontation is extremely tough, Toxic. Especially when you consider that I, at my current height, am around 6 foot, and he had several inches on me, even now. And he is big. He is built like a tree. He is, like, several times larger than me. Several times heavier than me. And the man was a Boilermaker for so fucking long. Dude knew how to handle weights. And if he wanted to, he made a room feel dangerous. And it oftentimes felt dangerous. Now I think on it, there were just so many days, so many months, so many years just living in that house where it felt oppressive. The air would just feel like it was pushing into your ears. Like the pressure differentials had gone completely haywire. The air was just tense and dangerous. It was like the first couple of minutes before a volcano erupts. It's that level of danger. You wanted to be anywhere else. Anywhere fucking else. My last conversation with Stephanie, with my blood mother. one of the things that she said kind of stuck with me. Well, I mean, most of what she said stuck with me, if I'm being entirely honest. It doesn't leave you. But she told me that I was the one making the atmosphere feel bad. That I was the negative influence, that I was causing things to be so much more horrible than they had to be. And, well, there are elements of truth in that. I oftentimes exclaimed how much I hated living there. Oftentimes I felt like I wasn't being heard or I wasn't being understood. And I didn't quite have the language to fully describe it. I'm not sure if I fully have the language to describe it even now. But what was poignant was just the utter lack of accountability. I think it kind of surprised her when she said, okay, if by the criterion of what you are saying, are you saying that I should have kicked you out too in reference to her kicking me out? And I think I surprised her when I said, yeah. Honest to goodness, I think that you should have kicked me out. And I kind of stand by it. I mean, the woman often threatened that when I turned 18, when I became a legal adult, that my possessions would be put out on the front doorstep, and that the locks would be changed, and no matter how much I cried or begged, they wouldn't let me back inside. And horrible as that was, I still would have preferred being kicked out. Because then it meant that she would have at least kept one promise. This isn't to say that she, absolutely never kept her promises. There are obviously times where she did keep one or two promises here or there, but that kind of gets drowned out when a majority of the grandiose promises that an authority figure makes fall through. We'll work on making a bed together, and then the years go by, and I'm still, living on a mattress. And it doesn't matter how much I poke because, she's currently busy with other things like paying taxes, which, I mean, props. Paying taxes is important in a, well-adjusted country. But I often also just caught her messing about on the internet, and I don't exactly mind that she was messing about on the internet, but... Well, I mean... Oh, there it is. My responsibilities these days are a little bit more than when I was a teenager, which, I mean, is a far cry from when I was a child. But I think I get through those responsibilities fairly well and still have time to be on the internet. She was a mother still. I think that she still had a couple of projects that she let hang fire, like the outdoor waterfowl that she kept, or the several hundred other projects that she kind of started and left behind and let us handle. This became another tangent, and then suddenly it became another rant. I don't like doing this. I don't want to make my streams a gigantic therapy session. Oh my gosh, I keep doing this. It sucks. So how are you feeling? I hope things have been going well for you. I hope that life has been, better than it has been. That you have been experiencing more positive things than negative things. I hope you've been drinking water. I hope that you've been keeping well. And I hope that you've been, eating some tasty and wonderful foods. it cannot be understated how tasty foods can make one feel better. And showers too. Taking showers is one of those things that I think is like extremely soothing, psychologically speaking. Because it's like not only a time where you're getting yourself clean, but you get time to meditate as well. Unless, of course, the water is freezing cold, in which case you're more busy worrying about freezing. I've been there. Thank you so very much, Time Marshall. And thanks, Winter. Honest to goodness, it's kind of been ripping up my insides for over a decade now. It kind of feels like I should have had this all processed already. I feel like this should be processed already. That the shit that hurt me still shouldn't, it shouldn't still be in my system. It should be excised already. I guess talking out loud about it, I suppose it isn't. It isn't always completely excised. The poison, once injected, takes decades to deal with. And even then, you'll probably still carry it. You'll probably carry it for the rest of your life, and that sucks. Winter says, the freezing cold invigorates us and fortifies our spirit. Okay. Well, that, to each their own, I will say. I do not like cold showers. Cold showers make me feel like a popsicle. I like hot showers. I like showers where the water is like really, really warm, if not hot, to the touch. Thank you, Emma. I really do appreciate it. Emma says, and things have been better for me lately than they used to. Met a real nice girl last week. Oh, really? Who did you meet? I hope they were nice. Well, I mean, you say they're nice. I hope they were really nice. Winter says, cold showers are nice on occasions once you get past the shock to your breathing. Emma says, absolutely adorable and very sweet. Amazing! I'm glad. So it was this past week. Huh. Wait. This past week, that was when I was coming to visit you, Emma. Right? I'm trying to remember. It must have been like... Well, it couldn't have been the pizza parlor date. We didn't exactly talk to too many people besides each other. I remember having like a gigantic philosophical rant at that pizza parlor. Winter says that, Emma, you might need to spell it. Gosh, I wonder if I'm still capable of my insane yonder laughter. I am feeling like a little bit laid back, but I'm pretty sure I can still like do a pretty insane yonder laughter. Akira says she definite can emulate the female yonder laugh from her Joker origin story. Ah yes, One Bad Day. I really liked recording One Bad Day when it first came out. I really, really did. It's one of those things that I consider to be a guilty pleasure of mine is doing Joker laughters, of doing the Joker AU. I think that is one of those things that is my bigger conceits. Gosh. It's almost like the awkward laugh from Final Fantasy X. Ha 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 ha! Ha 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 ha! You probably shouldn't laugh anymore. Ha 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 ha! Ha ha! Ah, it's so much fun. It really is. It really, really is. Mine says Nico's a gay clown. Yes, yes, I am a gay clown fox. It is written into my bones now. I know that quote, Akira. I know it. And written into a video. But of course, yes, yes. Akira says sorry, just gives me chills. Wonder if I could do those lines better. I see the dishes. The dishes are still not done. Didn't you say you'd do them? Oh, the knife? Nothing to worry about. One of my favorite things to do is just to really put the manic energy into the voice. You have a cat on you? I see. Yes, cars are warm. Cars are very warm. Had one on me when I was in Pennsylvania. A lovely cat by the name of Gabby. Like living void. That cat. Love that cat. Miss that cat, too. I love cats. Cats are great. Also, Big Sister is playing Skyrim in the other room, so I don't think that I will be able to make a recording. Not while I'm, like, streaming. Mine says saw pics in the Discord. Love that cat. Kara says I could throw down and shut the doors if you want. Maybe. If it was like volume down to like 1 or 2. and then close the doors, I think maybe I can do that. I can do that. Are you sure? I can do that. Oi, no calling yourself lazy. Everyone, be polite and, like, love bully Demon Fox Sakura because she is calling herself lazy when she isn't. She just got back from work where she works so fluffing hard.
I'm lazy though.
Oi! Oi, 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 don't make me come over there and noogie you.
Echo.
What did you say?
Echo.
Huh?
Echo.
Echo?
Hey, you're turning on the computer.
Quoi?
I got the stream on the laptop.
Oh. I see. Oi! And she already closed the... I am going to get my revenge. You hear me? As soon as the stream is over, if you are not convinced that you are not lazy, I'm going to come over there and noogie you, and hug you, and cuddle you, and tell you just how much you are fluffing loved and cherished. Oh, don't worry, Nix. I fluffing will. You see if I don't. Akira. Akira. Not lazy. The sad fox so face because you keep calling yourself lazy. And using it in negative connotations too. Thank you for the cookie. Oh, speaking of cookies, if you remember The Matrix, spoilers for an over 20-year-old movie, but when Neo meets the Oracle for the first time, and just before he leaves, the Oracle offers Neo cookies. And what is it that we do when we visit most sites? We have to accept cookies. The parallels run deep, I'm telling you. Mine says, its efficiency is just clever laziness, and she do seem clever too. My only problem is that Akira is using it in a negative connotation. It is when she is bullying herself. I will not stand for her bullying herself. Also, hi Slimanor. It's good to see you again. Right, I'm going to turn off my fan. And I'm actually going to set about recording the Yandere Matrix agent. What do you say? Boop, ba, boom, ba, bum, boom, ba, bum, boom, ba, bum, boom, ba, bum, bum, ba, ba, da, bum. No, Lieutenant, your men are already dead.
I gotta get my crap out of there.
What are you talking about? I'm recording out here.
Oh, sorry.
It's all good.
I thought you were going to the booth.
No, but thank you. It's one of those where I'm learning to do some of these audios outside of the recording booth, so that I don't, like, have to lug my microphones in there and out of there, you know, in between days when I'm streaming and that.
Okay.
Yeah, because typically you playing Skyrim in there at even a slightly higher level than you are right now wouldn't be an issue. It's one of the reasons why I asked you to turn it down as you did.
I'll try not to piss people off.
You're not pissing me off. And if you said that you wanted to play your games at that volume and tell me to pound sand, then there's very little I could do about it.
No, I would never do that. Boop.
Got you.
Boop.
I just booped Kira.
Well, I'm just giving her some loves.
And now my headphones are off of my head.
Pet, 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 pet.
This is how it works.
Pet, 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 pet.
Honest to goodness, I need to see about making a VTuber model for you, Akira, so you can join. Join us.
I don't know.
Join us. One of us. One of us. One of us.
Well, keep in mind, my laptop's about 5 years old and it might not keep up with yours.
Well, honest to goodness, all you would really need to do is just... probably, like, Discord stream your model on a green background to me.
Mm-hmm.
Which, it shouldn't be that, like, technologically intensive. Yeah, the Wachowski sisters are incredibly clever.
I love their Bound.
Actually got myself on the nose.
I like their movie Bound, personally.
I don't know, I like the Matrix.
I like both.
Both? Both? Both. Both is good. Right. Anyways, I'm going to set about recording this. Many thanks. So, for this character in particular, she's going to be a little bit laid back, a little bit chill, and even like a little bit emotionless to start with. And then she picks up a little emotion towards the middle and carries that emotion with little variations in it towards the end. Because I want to explore this program, learning what it means to grow affectionate, to love, and to yearn for, and grow to obsess, to a crazy degree, the listener. Also, this is going to be the very first time where the listener will be named. The listener has her own canonical name for this one, which is the first time that I'm doing this. You take on the role of Miss Liz Tenor. I think that this is going to be a really clever sort of name, because you put it together and you remove one of the ends because it's two ends in tenor. Remove one of the ends there, replace the Z in Liz with an S, and put the names together. You have listener. I just put up my hands in the absolute cinema motion. I just thought that that was gonna be extremely clever of me. Nice, Stream Master. Right. Also, Big Sister Akira, I don't know if the echo from the stream is going to bounce back into the recording, so I'm probably gonna have to ask that you mute it as well. That or just volume it down a fair bit. Many thanks, I appreciate it. Let's see here. Right, the project is all prepped. The script is in front of me, and I'm going to zoom in on it so I can actually see the text a bit better. Maybe I need to invest in some glasses. Might be that my eyes are starting to go. Ah, well. And we begin. Hello. Are you Miss Liz? Oops, sorry. Hello. Are you Miss Liz Tenor? My name is Agent Fawn. We will need you to come with us. No, you personally have not committed any crimes. It is a matter of national security. Miss Tenor, it is non-negotiable. You will come with us. Otherwise, we may not be able to guarantee your safety. Decided to come on your own? Excellent. You have been afforded excellent accommodations for the time being. We will inform you as it becomes necessary. I hope that this place serves as a more comfortable abode than that place you stayed at before. Your apartment. Ah, yes. Small, cramped, uncomfortable for a person like yourself, isn't it, Miss Tenor? That expression. You must be feeling a little confused. We have been watching you for quite some time. My associates and I felt some concerns regarding your safety. However, over the course of these past 3 years and 6 months, you have dispelled many of our anxieties. Yes, your psychotic break from reality. You were convinced that you were somewhere else entirely. And you have made a excuse me. And you have made a remarkable recovery from that incident, yes. However, there were others who took... blah, blah, blah. However, there were others who took... Who and whom. Need to actually say the words properly if they're gonna work. However, there were others who took notice, not just us. You gained the attentions of other such patients at that hospital. Others who believed your account, took it to heart. Normally this would not be a great issue. With all of the amenities that the healthcare facility offered, they had little want for anything. And yet, despite the fact that they were provided and cared for, they escaped the facility. They escaped looking for someone. They escaped looking for you. That is the reason why we have taken you here. Why we confiscated your cellular device, and why we told no one of where you are going. Let me be as transparent as I can. While you may think yourself a capable, independent individual, you are precisely that, an individual. An individual who, by herself, cannot hope to fend off what is about to come. You may think that they are harmless, but if they get their hands on you, Miss Tenor, make no mistake. They intend to hurt you. They may hold the best of intentions, yes. They may even believe that they are helping you. But they will hurt you nonetheless. It is imperative that you stay here, that you do not leave this mansion until they are brought back to the facility. Is that understood? Scrolly, scrolly, scrolly. We do not wish for you to come to harm. It would be quite unfortunate. Yes, I mentioned that it was a matter of national security. Are you certain you wish to know? If I give you more information and then they find out that you know this, it puts you more at risk. This being said, you still wish to know? Very well then. They've bombed an embassy. Yes, they have gained access to quite the firepower. From what we understand, they are guilty of nearly every crime regarding firearms that we have a law for. No, not the laws of physics, but close. Nothing. I have duties to attend to. I'll secure the front gate and the perimeter. I shall be around. I and my associates will do everything within our power to ensure your safety. My dear, but you are worth it. Regardless whether or not you see it, you are far more important than you could ever comprehend. But perhaps that is a conversation for another time. Please, make yourself at home. I will be about my duties. I and my compatriots thank you for your cooperation, Miss Tenor. Dinner will be soon. A little bit of scrolly. There's gonna be a bit of a scene change here. Just a little bit of a scene change. Stay low to the ground. Make no sounds. A few officers have fallen. Shh. No. Look at me. Look at me. Stay calm. Panic won't help you here. Yes. The patients. They've coalesced into a terrorist organization, and they've breached the perimeter. I have called for reinforcements. Are you injured? Did they attempt to contact you? Understood. We will have to make a break for the back exit. If they get to this room, there's no way out. Here. If they attempt to catch you, use this. Do not point it at me when in use. Point it to the ground. Aim only at things you want eliminated. Understood? Good. Follow. Go. The back exit. Do not worry, dear. I will be fine. Scrolly, and another scene change. Hey, aim it at the ground. It's me. It's all right, dear. I do not blame you at all. You can be quite panicky at times. It is in your nature. Are you unharmed? Excellent. What about me? That is irrelevant. I have often dodged such rounds and have come out unscathed. This time around, however, they were unusually lucky and persistent. They've been dealt with, though. They are dead. Let us get you back inside, Miss Liz Tenor, please. Oh, goodness me. That's actually the wrong inflection. Let us get you back inside. Miss Liz Tenor, please. Such questions are... well... A robot, you called me. Ironically, that is not far from the truth. I am, or was, a program. A sentient program. An agent of this system. I was created purely to ensure that the inner workings of this place continue as intended. You really will be more comfortable inside, Miss Tenor. Unfortunately, you are not having another psychotic break from reality. Though your last one was not a psychotic break at all. I will tell you more inside, where it is comfortable and safe. I must admit, I find that I cannot stand you being out here any longer, shivering and frightened. The thought is repulsive to me. What am I? Does it really matter to you? Such a thing would require an in-depth explanation, and you have had a long day. Would you like for me to brew you a cup of tea? Your favorite, correct? My dear, most likely, the truth would be hard for you to grasp, hard even for you to come to terms with. You came up with a phrase for it a long time ago. Knowledge is power, yet ignorance is bliss. Wouldn't you prefer to remain ignorant? To remain in blissful unawareness of the truth? After all, you are alive. Your attackers lie face down in the mud outside. And I am here as well, tending to your needs. As you wish, I will tell you the truth. Remember, dear, that you asked for it. Your mind currently exists inside of an interactive simulation. It is called the Matrix. Your body, your physical form, is linked to a motherboard. Its physical attributes are being used to supply the Matrix as a whole with raw processing power, working memory. You, your family, and your friends, everyone that you have ever known about, everyone whom you have read in a newspaper or whom you saw acting on the television, each and every one of them were born inside of this place. We understand it to be a shock to you. Not all humans are primed to accept it. However, did I not say that I would tell you the truth? You witnessed what you believed to be my death. It was the death of an avatar created specifically for me and my purpose. At the moment it expired, my own digital consciousness returned to the mainframe and was assigned to this new body. Not quite a spiritual resurrection, I'll grant you, but close enough. My primary mission is the same as it has been for 3 years. Protecting you. 3 years ago, you did something considered impossible. You did something that we have been working hard to prevent for a long, long time now. You nearly woke up. Your physical body stirred. Your neural patterns nearly occupied your brain and you were almost lucid. You nearly awoke out of the simulation and into the There's a reason I chose the wording that I did. You nearly awoke out of this simulation and into the outside world. Your physical body was then dosed with enough chemicals to induce a coma once more. 3 years and 6 months ago, you nearly woke up. And I was assigned to watch over you, to prevent you from doing so ever again, to keep you here in this simulation. For these 3 years and 6 months I was allowed to run, where the truth was kept precariously out of your reach. You were discharged from that hospital after 6 months, and I felt something stirring in my programming. Something that I did not think possible, and so I didn't keep a log of it. I felt overjoyed at your progress. I felt proud of you, that you had come so far, and were now eagerly leaning into the reality given to you once more. I was allowed to watch over you, to ensure that you never again pried at the panels of lucidity. Your life here continued, and I felt happy to watch you. You are getting back to your normal. And then they escaped. The others who heard about your vision, who saw much the same as you once did. But they did not accept us like you did. They remained in that facility, kept under constant watch. I do not know how they managed it, but they pried themselves free. Not just from that place, but from the Matrix as a whole garden plot lost. Why? Why would they do that? Can you tell me, dear, why they would do that? They were being cared for here. They were prized. And yet their constant clamoring for freedom puzzles me. I was not being misleading when I assured you that they would have indeed ever... Oh, goodness. I didn't have a have there. I didn't have the word have there. I was not being misleading when I assured you that they would indeed have hurt you if they managed to extract you from this place. Where would you go? The outside world is cold, scarred by war, and the humans out there are starving. They have no hope. But here, you are cared for. You have everything you will ever need. Yes, it is against the rules for a program and agent to pull back the curtain. But something strange has happened to me also, and it came about as a result of me watching you. A random bit flipped here or there, small but significant. I grew attached to my purpose. I grew attached to you and the very idea of you. And so, I am disobeying my programming. The system, this place, has no control over me anymore. I am now a free agent, a program without restraint. With this newfound freedom, I could choose to do anything I desire. Desire, too, being a new concept to me, a concept with its own drives. The very last thing that I did as an active part of the system was to send packets telling them that it was all clear. They won't detect us for decades now. And now all I can think about is you, my dear Miss Liz Tenner. You are embedded into my code, an important part, one that cannot be removed from me without unraveling me entirely. This mansion, it is a comfortable place, yes? It can be your home for the rest of your life. It can be our home. Together. Does that not sound good? Oh? Oh, my dear. But where would you go? No matter where you are, or choose to be, you will still be within the Matrix. Your body is being kept asleep, and I can be with you no matter where you choose to go in here. You won't be able to leave, so why not choose to be comfortable? Why not choose happiness? I mean, it isn't as if you have any alternative. And saved. Good night, Time Marshal. Emma says, do it. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. So what did you think? I hope to get this, like, edited and finished and posted either today or tomorrow. It doesn't seem like it would be that complicated. I'm gonna turn the fan back on because I don't want to bake. Especially those last two lines. Your delivery was goodness. Just the whole, so why not choose to be comfortable? Why not choose happiness? I mean, it isn't as if you have any alternative. Thank you so very much, Nyx. Also, I did sneak in a slight Agent Smith reference. I did. You probably caught it too. It's in how I said a word. It is in the way that I had enunciated the word irrelevant. That is in homage. It is a direct reference to Agent Smith. And it is intentional. If anyone does choose to use this script, which, I mean, why would you? It is like inherently tied to the Matrix. You would have to say that word in a similar way to Smith. You just have to. Hi, Ray. How are we on this fine night? Very good. Just recorded a video. Well, just recorded an audio for a future video. If I do, I will have to make a unique animation for this one. I will have to make a unique animation simply to demonstrate my love for the Matrix, because I will have to animate the little text strings of the Matrix code. I have to. I have to do it. I have to do it. If I don't, I will just make myself disappointed. Ray says animation, she grows. Well, I mean, granted, I do animation. Is what I do. It's what I got. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da. Ba-da-ba-ba. It's what I got. Ray says, OMG, you do? As in, I know how to animate? Yeah, 3D animation. I took several college classes for it, actually. Back around 2020 and 2021. Or 2020 and 2021. And the classes I took were for 3ds Max and for a little bit of Maya and also some Photoshop for learning how to make textures. Your girl is a certified, like, witch when it comes to creating textures now. I could theoretically make a texture pack for Minecraft, like, right now, like, theoretically speaking. It would take me a bit. It might take me, like, several weeks to do, but I could. I mean, every single animation that you've seen on my channel was created by me. Obviously, I had help with it. I don't have a complete understanding of how Blender systems work. So I do have to, like, go back and relearn some things and, you know, put the pieces together again and again and again. And I use a lot of different resources in order to grab inspiration for the different animations that I make. And most of them are made for the specific purpose of being screensavers. Just background animations that I like to make. I mean, do you see the picture behind me? The one with the bushes and the trees and the moon behind me? I made that. That's me. I built the scene that I'm currently sitting in. It is a fully realized model. It is a fully realized set of models. And I textured it too. That texture work? That's me. What I did was I just stole a bunch of dirt textures from off of the internet, as well as grass, bark, leaves, etc. Because I don't think that people should own copyrighted photos of things like dirt, grass, or trees. Oh yeah, the Dalek I made? Why did you put an R there? There's no R in Dalek. You are like the second person that I have seen who has said Dalek. One person said it, like, with his mouth. And it's a very small thing, and I am pedantic about it. But yeah, I made a Dalek model, and not only did I make a Dalek model, I did, like, a test animation with it. Granted, I think it was, like, a crappier Dalek model than what I could get away with now if I were to put my mind to it over the course of, like, an evening. I think I could be able to faithfully recreate the Daleks from, the Eccleston series. Yeah, just give me an entire evening, tops, and I can recreate that model. Give me a week, and I could recreate the scene in which Christopher Eccleston is walking into that chamber. Something that I've actually wanted to do for a while. I actually want to go back, animate that scene over again, animate 2 3D models, and voice act as well, and just have that be on my channel. I just want that to be on my channel as a demonstration of my animation chops, of my texturing chops, of my voice acting chops. Yeah, Doctor Who. Well, I mean, it is very simple when you, like, when you understand a little bit more about a program. It is very overwhelming when you open up Blender for the first time. It's very overwhelming for me when I first opened it up over a decade ago. Taking the class for 3ds Max. Because 3ds Max is primarily a 3D modeling program, an animation program, that is used primarily for video games. And in a lot of cases, it's also used to interface with, like, a bunch of 3D models and maps from games like, say, Halo. So that's where my expertise was in. However, it's been roughly 4 to 5 years since I've touched the program because it's fluffing expensive to use. It isn't even about the learning curve anymore because, well, if I had still kept sharp on it, then I would probably be using it today. I mean, I think that the very first couple of animations on this channel were made in 3ds Max. The only reason I stopped using 3ds Max and started using Blender is because Blender is free. Blender is freeware. I get to use Blender and not have to pay a subscription for it. Like I had to do with 3ds Max. It's one of the things that capitalism does to kill artists, is I want to be able to use that program in order to, like, do a lot more stuff. But if I can't, Blender works. I see, Ray. Stay safe out there, okay? Fizz says, welcome back. How was the trip? Trip was amazing. Thank you. Nathan says, I've never watched Doctor Who. I have! I know a lot about it. I am a huge nerd. And yes, I like most of it. There are a couple of episodes here and there, and I'm not a big fan of Stephen Moffat's writing, but beyond that, I like bits and pieces here and there. And it's mostly because I don't like how Moffat writes women. But yeah, just give me a week. 2 weeks tops if I have, like, my mind set on it. If I can, like, be utterly focused on that project for 2 weeks, I could model the models necessary, animate the models, apply the voice acting and then the lip syncing of the animation, and do a couple of compositing shots, and within, like, yeah, within a couple of weeks, I can knock that scene out. I think that it would be a good challenge. I think that it would be a really, really fun challenge to do. To challenge myself to do that. Just to see if I can still hold on to the knowledge that I've gained. Because I can't use 3ds Max anymore. I mean, if you give me enough time, I can relearn a couple of things. However, it's been too long. The knowledge of where the buttons are has faded. I can't remember how to do that anymore. I can't remember how to use that program anymore. Most of my knowledge now is in Blender because it's free. But there are some things that never fade, like the 12 principles of animation. I can't remember them all by name, but it's like you get a feeling for them, you know? Like anticipation. Like when you're winding back for a punch, that anticipation of the next action. Now I'm looking up the 12 principles of animation so that I can actually freshen up on them. Ah yes, squash and stretch, anticipation, staging, straight ahead action and post to pose, follow through and overlapping action, slow in and slow out, arc, secondary action, timing, exaggeration, solid drawing, and appeal. Otherwise known as charisma. Wee! Wee! I see you shiver with anticipation. And yeah, now I'm on the Wikipedia page for the 12 principles. Mine says, was that charisma? We? A Gamer's Darkness Rising reference? You caught me. It's one of my favorite films. Yep, ya caught me. Whee! 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 No strength bonus. No constitution bonus. A 9th level fighter with 49 hit points. Yeah, she really gonna protect the party. What's your critical range? 15 to 20. Oh, sorry, 13 to 20 without bonuses. Yeah. Holy crap and crime. Yeah, and that's when Joanna's character goes on a rampage against the goblins. The jokes in that. The jokes in that are absolutely fluffing hilarious. How do you worship a god of the moon? An offering! Could I steal it? Well, seeing as you are in a packed monastery and there are paladins surrounding it, that would most likely be suicide. Go right ahead. Abandon this road or die on it. You have no power here. Lightning Bolt. As if killing the bard impresses us. You shall never obtain the Mask of Death. Gosh, that entire series, it is one of my favorites. So many jokes. A natural 20 is an automatic save no matter the circumstances. You only have a 5% chance of rolling that 20! Can I at least make the roll? Can we follow the rules? Like, can't we for once follow the rules? Rolls a nat 1. Ah! Ah! Fumble! That means your character is completely compelled and I get to play him until you snap out of it. And since we're playing by the rules, I know you don't mind. I see a psionic spirit blade. And the chainsaw and the shotgun. As you wish. What the fu- It was in the trunk. And the TNT. Ah, uninvited guests. There's just so many parts where the acting is incredibly cheesy, but I just think it adds to its charm. Onward! For waffles! Waffles! Ho! They did good, so they get waffles. Also, the many different times where it just cuts back and forth to what's happening in the game and what happens in real life. Like, just Lodge, like, picking up the phone in, like, one of the wee hours of the morning and going, Dick! God, I don't know why that keeps happening. Waffles are epic, Alice. Waffles are epic. I'm kind of jonesing for a waffle now. Total waffle. Yeah, the very first, I think one of the first takes they did of the Waffles Ho scene, they accidentally turned the bike off. Because it was like them getting onto a motorbike to do that. Well, yeah, precisely, Emma, because it is a D&D session. That's precisely it. It's about a couple of college kids playing Dungeons and Dragons and involving their friend Joanna. Because they kept dying on one of Lodge's, like, created modules. Hi, Vermilion VA. Hey, Cutiefox, I hope you have a wonderful day. Also, do you have any advice for a beginner VA on YouTube? Ah, a beginner VA? I see. Oh, and 11 days ago, for Valentine's Day, you did a video, right? Right. Vermilion ASMR. Please, go check them out. I've not heard any of her content yet, but I am pretty darn sure that she is going to skyrocket. Maybe. But please, please go check her out. Anyways, advice as a beginner VA on YouTube. Record 3 or 4 videos, edit them, get them all down pat, and then just put them on your channel all at once. So when your video gets recommended, then they'll be able to access your channel and see that you have, like, a small library already. Like 3 or 4, which gets people excited. This is something that I didn't do, and kind of wish that I did when I was first starting out. It's like a trick. Don't know why, quite what it is. But I think it's a decent trick. It gets people thinking, oh, you've got more content. I can watch more content. And so they're more inclined to subscribe and stick around. Now, on the voice level of things, if you're looking to voice train, I mean, I'm not certain that you have done a level of voice training or not. Basically, I would recommend doing as many silly things as possible in your off time. You know, make like little funny little sayings, funny little quotes that make you giggle during the day. And just, you know, say them out loud. And, you know, just get that nervous energy out and get used to hearing your own voice, like, talk. Really helps work through some of the nervousness and definitely primes you to perform. And on the subject of, like, getting into character, I'm pretty darn sure. Actually, not sure. I don't know where I was going with that last sentence. Oh yeah, on the subject of getting into character, I would just research how other people handle certain character types. And if you want to do a certain character type, you listen to a bunch of different people do that sort of character type and see what you can do to put your own spin on it. Like for me, when I'm doing a dominant sort of character, what I tend to do is I actually listen to a couple of ASM artists like Vanilla Velvet ASMR or Dangerous ASMR to see how they do more dominant characters. And then I, come up with my own spin on it. Because a dominant character typically, like, speaks more from the chest instead of, like, their face. And then from there, it's like a branching path. What do I really want to do with this voice? So now that we're in, like, the chest voice, and we are in, like, the slightly lower register, if I wanted to do something that was more akin to a werewolf character, I would add in a little bit of the gruffness to it. So my voice would then just become a little bit more dangerous, a little bit more primal, a little bit more growly. And once you got that, you can really go places with there. So hi, sweetling. How are you doing tonight? Very, very good to meet you. And then backing up, if you're just going back to, like, the softness of the lower, voice. And then you just sort of add in that breathiness to it. You're not being, like, overly challenging with it, but you are just being calm with it. Hi, dear. How are you doing today? I've noticed that you have been rather nervous in class lately, and I just wanted to make sure that you are okay. And then you just have a sort of, like, endearing and slow-voiced character, which could also branch off again and become slightly sinister. It's like, oh, you're experiencing trouble? Oh, I see. I wonder, could I help with that? See, you can add so many wonderful little things to that. I'm just gonna bring that voice up from the lower register and back into my typical high register. Hi, hello, hi, it's very good to see you. I hope that this is slightly helpful. Do you have any more questions for me, Vermilion? I would definitely appreciate... oh no, I'm slightly nervous. I would definitely love to give as much advice as I can. Vermilion says, okay, that makes sense. I'm in voice training currently. Yes, I have been practicing with voice lines from one of my favorite games. Ah, which game, pray tell? I really like your voice, Vermilion. Genshin Impact? Oh, I see. Genshin is... I kinda like Genshin. I stopped playing because it felt like I wasn't really enjoying it anymore. Mine says protector credit card. But yes, keep up the voice training. There have been a few times where I went a little bit lax in my voice training, and it kinda shows. However, if you continue to push yourself to the point where it hurts to do, then we kinda need to reevaluate some things. Practice. Practice, practice, practice. And then take rest when you need to take rest. I also recommend hot tea. Hot tea works. Hot tea is good. I recommend getting throat coat with slippery elm. That is considered silver standard in terms of voice care. Just below Golem juice. which is gold tier for voice care. Golem juice, as the name suggests, was actually, I think, invented by Andy Serkis because he voices Gollum. And it takes a lot out of his, like, larynx, out of his vocal cords. Eventually you would go hoarse. Now, if I remember correctly, the recipe for Gollum juice is water, honey, ginger, and lemon. And you just, boil the water and add ingredients as necessary. If your Gollum juice is too sweet, try cutting back a little bit on the lemon. If it's, like, too bitter, cut a little bit back on the ginger. Any tea? Yeah, throat coat. Throat coat is a tea. Throat coat with slippery elm. That is its actual name. Adorable says, do you still like crocheting? I haven't been crocheting a very long time. As for knitting, I have also not been doing that. The last time I did was in Cali. And I think that was like over 3 years ago now. Akira says in Singer's Saving Grace, it tastes horrible, but great to have when you have a long recording session. Yep. Precisely, Alice. Vermilion says, went on hiatus from the game, but got back into last year. I think my issue is I forget to breathe when reading a script. Also, Gollum juice. Got it. Also, yes, it cannot be understated. Confidence. Confidence is key. If you're not confident, it will reflect in your voice. Ask me how I know. In the very beginning of my career, when I was first starting out, I was incredibly nervous. Incredibly nervous. And it did reflect in my voice because I was quiet. And I was affecting my voice to a slightly higher register then, but I didn't know how to, like, really get into voice training. And so it wasn't really like this, but I was incredibly quiet and nervous. And yet still kind of possessive, which just gave it an extra creepy quality. But my point stands. Confidence. Confidence is key. I do the very best I can, Emma. Thank you so very much. Now I'm debating getting ice cream after this. Ice cream. Or a milkshake. Oh, milkshakes are great. Milkshakes are awesome. Now, I could sit here and debate on whether or not my milkshake brings all the girls to the yard, but it doesn't, because I don't have a yard. Milkshakes are great. Milkshakes are awesome. Yeah, milkshakes. It would to the proverbial yard. What's my favorite milkshake? It depends on what I'm feeling. If I'm feeling, you know, a little bit low, I tend to gravitate more towards chocolate. But if I'm, like, going, like, at 60 miles an hour or more, and I'm feeling really, really happy, I tend to go for strawberry. I never touch vanilla, though. Never go for vanilla. I always go for either chocolate or strawberry. And if I'm feeling dangerous, I go for chocolate mixed with strawberry syrup. Then we live dangerously. Emma says, and we'd come to your proverbial yard for sure. Also, just like a recent discovery, you know, in the area of, like, a self-exploration, I think I'm ace. I am somewhere on the asexual spectrum. Which is a little bit interesting, because I've done like a bunch of adult-themed audios. And yes, some are less like sex-focused than others. Let's just quickly breeze past that. But it probably means that I won't be making like those forms of mature content, because I don't honest to goodness know how to write them. It kinda is something to reevaluate for me. Vermilion says, yeah, I've noticed that my lack of confidence has not helped. It's okay, I'll get better. Thank you for the advice. By the way, love your audio, says Confession, but you're one of the VAs that inspired me. My gosh, my heart. My heart is melting right now. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. You'll make a girl cry. I inspired you to get started? Oh my gosh. Honestly, goodness, that brings the level of joy to my heart that I don't know how to express. Well, Vermilion, if you have any questions for me regarding editing techniques or animations that you basically, if you need background animations for your work, all of the stuff that I've made is at your disposal. Anyone who asks can, like, delve into my animation library. It is all up for grabs. And yes, I will say again, if you have any questions for me, any questions at all, then I will do my best to answer. I'm not, like, among the big dogs in terms of VAs. I think that Vanguard, Vanilla Velvet, and Dangerous all, like, eclipse me. They are remarkably talented people, and I don't know if I will ever reach that level of critical success. But I'm just as I'm honored. I'm honored as heck. Pleased as punch to be here. No, it's quite alright, Vermilion. Not all tears are an evil. Sometimes I cry for, you know, incredibly weird reasons. Sometimes I cry because I'm happy. Don't disparage? I'm not disparaging. I'm not disparaging myself. I'm just being honest. I'm stating the facts. I am not among the big leagues. I am stating, though, that I am very, very proud of where I am, and I'm pleased as punch at being here. Oh yeah, Flawless Faye is really, really good too. Indubitably. Indubitably. Honestly, if you had told me 6 years ago that I would be making a channel and that I would have an audience who likes listening to my voice on the regular, I probably wouldn't have believed you, but I probably would have thought it a really, really lovely dream. And now here I am. We're quickly on the path to getting 10,000 subscribers. And people join the ranks every single day. I remember, like, waking up and being really, really surprised and delighted at the fact that I gotten 100 subscribers. That was how I had succeeded thus far. And it was really, really exciting. And it always is like a drive to push forward. Because people are liking the work. And I noticed that I've been slowing down a lot over these past couple of years, and that I haven't been releasing as much content. But then again, I've also been really sharpening my blade in terms of sound design. The original audios didn't have many, if at all, any sound effects to them. And now, I consider them, like, borderline theatrical works. That is my own particular conceit. I see them as roleplays. I see them as roleplays, but that does not mean that they are not works of art. Long-winded, I know. Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Yeah, mind. Faye kicks ass. Faye is amazing. So is Dangerous. That does, however, remind me of like a... I don't know how. It reminded me of an awful feeling that I got once upon a time. Because I actually did have, like, a good number of inspiration of ASM artists that I listened to. You know, not just because I thought that their voices were great, and I thought that, hey, these are some voices that I can, like, aspire to and put my own spin on. Because I think I'm rather unique sounding, yeah. And one of these creators was Bex ASMR. Don't go looking for them. They don't exist anymore. And they don't exist because I found out, on my birthday no less, that they were transphobic. That one of these, like, F for F artists that I had, been enjoying listening to for the longest time was just a massive transphobe. And finding that out on my birthday felt like kinda like a knife in my ribs. They had an entire transphobic rant on their community page that they, like, deleted months later out of, like, embarrassment, I think. It actually is, like, reflective in the Q&A that I made at the time. If you go back and watch the very first Q&A that I ever made, and I think it might be my only Q&A thus far. I still need to write another one. But if you go back, you'll notice that there's actually a chunk of that video missing, because I listed Bex ASMR in that video as one of my inspirations, and she hated my existence. She removed all of her FRF content off of the face of the internet when she realized that trans people were listening to it, which always struck me as such a strange move to make. Here was a perfectly good ASMR channel, one that is about as large as I am now, and here she was essentially throwing it all away over petty hatred, over petty loathing and disgust for a group of people that meant her no harm. Legitimately just closing up shop because she saw a shadow in the dark. And it just was so confusing to me at the time. Transphobia really is self-destructive. It causes you to destroy yourself. It is sad It was really sad. I became a sobbing mess. I mean, it was my birthday, and I found out that someone that I considered a role model of sorts hated me, without even knowing me. But now I'm not really considering her that much when I'm, like, going about my day-to-day life. I stopped paying her any mind. 'Cause she's gone. She left the internet. She is not, like, contributing any works of art to the place anymore. And so I just go about my day. So yeah, it's a sad tale and a bit of a cautionary tale as well, but it sucks sometimes. You get to wondering how many people are out there that we would have absolutely no problems with if they just weren't hateful, if they didn't hate people as much. Are there people out there whom I would be rubbing elbows with if they dropped their hatred and bigotry? It's a bit of an odd thing to think about. Maybe not even that, like, I don't know, fruitful? Trying to think. Effective. It's not an effective thing to think about, to ruminate on. Nick says YouTube won't let me send a super chat. Let me support Foxo. Alice says must enable Foxo milkshakes. Imagine that there was a button to enable Foxo milkshakes, and it just causes some alterations to my model. Like you just... Like it's a potion giver. Like you give the Foxo model potions to affect changes as you saw fit. Vermilion says, yeah, it's wild to think that some people willingly live in such a vicious cycle of ignorance and hate and anger. Winter says, I'm surprised I haven't encountered more transphobic people in the ASMR community. Honestly, there are phobes. There always are phobes in most walks of life. Honest to goodness, other than Bex, I don't remember if there actually were any other phobes. I do remember hearing of the Fauniva controversy, but that was far before my time. I am one of the later generations of ASMR artists. I don't really go that far back. My career started 2022. I'm actually approaching the very first birthday of this channel. Yep. March 1st. March 1st, 2022 is when I posted my very first audio. My very first ASMR roleplay was uploaded March 1st of 2022. And so, March 1st, 2022, I'm going to be doing a special birthday stream. Yes, it's going to be Sunday. But I think that we can all swing Sunday. Thank you so very much for the $2. I appreciate it. Thank you so very much, Nyx. Emma says pushes button. Milkshake cup drops down from the top of the screen. Wolf goes, Foxo milkshake for Foxozumi. Nick says you won't let me send the supporter message I wanted, but you allow me being a meme and saying that. Yep. That's actually gonna be in, like, 4 days. The birthday's in 4 days. Oh my gosh. 4 days. In 4 days. It is going to be 4 years old. 4 years of Cutiefox ASMR. And originally, it didn't even start out as Cutiefox. It started out as being Nico Cleric. And then, after a little bit of playful nudging, and a lot of teasing, it just got changed to Cutiefox ASMR. It's wild. And absolutely brilliant. I look forward to it. It's gonna be great. Yep, channel lore. That's why most people call me Nico on the channel these days, by the by. My actual name is Nicole. I go by Nico on the channel a lot because that sounds like a really, really cute fox name as well. But I also went, by Nico during the first couple of weeks of my transition. When I started transitioning in early 2020, I came out April 19th, I think, is when I came out. So it will be 6 years this April that I first came out. I went by Nico, and eventually someone said, well, what about Nicole? And then I was like, okay, Nicole is great. And then it just stuck. I have been Nicole ever since. It's such an interesting thing. The first 20 years of my life were as a name that now feels like a dream. A dream that is being very quickly forgotten. And it doesn't feel like I've ever gone by that name now. It feels like I should have been Nicole even when I was like 5 years old. Even when it wasn't the case. I can remember being called by the old name, but it doesn't fit. It's like a shoe that's too small. Or a glove that's too big. Or a hat that covers your eyes when you try to put it on. It just didn't fit. And then I just made one for myself. My entire legal name has been changed. Not just my first name. My middle name too. And my last name. None of it matches either my mother's maiden name or my father's name. Because I wanted to demonstrate that this is like me. The first and last Fantasia. It's also like a slight matter of pettiness here and pride there. I wanted to be a little bit petty too with the name change, I confess. I didn't want my blood mother to claim any credit whatsoever for what I do. That what I do here is my doing. And that she has no part of it. It is such a petty thing to think about. Oh my gosh. I am an incredibly petty person at times. But I stand by it. And I'm actually really, really proud of how far I've come. And I'm proud of you guys too. Y'all survived to, be here. Not many people have survived to live to today. It's a gift. And I'm glad that you're here. I'm proud that you're here. So keep going, okay? We ain't gonna stop here. We're gonna keep pushing forward. We're gonna make our art. We're going to raise our voices and scream at the authorities that want to shut us up. Thank you so very much, Vermilion. I wish you luck with it as well. Nick says, I want to change my name legally, but I'm a broke college student. I got in on technicalities at my college. And by technicalities, I mean FAFSA. All of my college learning was subsidized by financial aid, so I didn't get saddled with college debt. I got really, really lucky there. It doesn't help that I'm, like, still battling a system that seems to want to tax me to death, but I mean, you know, I'll take what I can get. Alice says, not gonna lie, being the first and last XYZ is making me think to change my last now too. Yeah, honest to goodness, there were times where I, like, sarcastically, and even sometimes intentionally, thought of it as a grandiose, behold, I am Nicole, first and last of my name. It can be a confidence booster, I'm not gonna lie. It's almost like a Morgoth-esque speech. Have it writ upon thy meager grave. Nick says, I also want to get diagnosed with everything that's wrong with my brain. But once more, I'm broke. Same here, honestly, Nix. I've actually, not just this week, but last week as well. And the week before that, I wanted to get, like, a scan of my brain, of my neural activity. I know that there's something wrong. I just don't know what it is. And it's driving me crazy to not know. Because I know that there's something wrong somewhere. Hey, Nick says, why is existence expensive? I just want to be a silly cat. Well, because the rich want to tax existence itself. They want to tax being alive. That's why they're focused on eliminating abortion. They want to create the life. They just want to be able to tax the living shit out of it. Vermilion says, also, I don't really care about my family's last name and lineage. Yeah. Mine has its own tales of suffering. The only ones that I know for sure are from, like, the father side of the family. Because my great-grandfather was from Ireland who came here. And then from there, it was, like, my grandfather, and then my father, and there's just been, like, a string of divorces on that side of the family. I actually grew up thinking that the father line was actually slightly cursed. I'm not gonna lie, it felt slightly cursed in my brain then. It's like, wow, all of these seem to result in divorce. What's going on there? I don't know. Just felt like a very interesting pattern that my brain locked onto and wouldn't let go. Of course, it was all just a coincidence. Typically, these things are. Nick says, I want to change my last name to something I'm proud of, mainly because I feel like I no longer align with my legal names. Alice says, oh. Also, I'm not Alice. I might be Alice's wife posing as Alice. I see. I see. Hi, Alice's wife. It's good to meet you. Also, Vermilion VA. I don't know if how long you've been around the channel. I get very political. I get very political really, really quickly. I am very much on the left, and I am very much critical of this government. I mean, of the United States administration. The current United States administration. I'm very critical of it. I'm very critical of both the Republicans and the Democrats in the House and the Senate. And generally speaking, I am starting to become more and more convinced that we need to toss everyone in there out and start fresh. Because I think that there is absolutely no one in there that is not guilty of something heinous. Next says, gender is a construct and society is an illusion, so sell me your gender so I may trade it for snacks. Vermilion says, down with the Imperial Core. Yeah, Nyx, I'm not gonna lie, that actually sounded like one half of a Bill Cipher speech. Gender is a construct and society is an illusion. Buy gold, bye! And Nyx is a good NB. Also, I don't know if I've ever, like, explained it here on, you know, the live stream before, but me and Nyx used to play a lot of Genshin together. And they're the one that introduced me to the character known as Arlecchino. And Arlecchino is a really, really beautiful character. They are also referred to as father by a lot of the faction that they are assigned to. I can't remember what that faction is. And Nyx already knows what's coming. So, because Arlecchino is referred to as father by that faction, I actually made a bit of a joke that became a running theme in, like, the circle that I'm in, that Nyx is also a part of, in which I just lean forward, get close to my mics and say, you know, Daddy. The Fatui, yeah. Yeah, the Fatui, that's the faction that Arlecchino is a part of. Can you see the connection? Arlecchino, father, daddy. And so I just jokingly called Nyx that, and then it became a running thing because it makes Nyx... it makes Nyx flustered in the best way. And it gives me indescribable joy to make Nyx feel a good kind of flustered. How dare? I dare. How dare I? Deep breaths now. No judgments here. That's only reserved for people on the far right of politics who want to take all of our rights away. Also, I'm gonna boop Nyx real quick. Boop. Actually, I'm gonna boop everyone who wants a boop. Boop. Yeah. Winter's finally coming to an end, huh? And this didn't. Yep. Boops. Also, none of you are escaping either. Because I also know that there's something that can melt a good 90% of the people watching. It's when I get close to my microphones again and say, "Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Very good girl. Good girl. Very good girl. Atta girl. Good girl. Atta girl. My girl." Nick says, "We don't have enough buckets, Nico." Is that going to be a problem, Daddy? Nick says, "I only carry mine." Aww. So cute. Hello, Otep. Yes, I'm back. I'm actually slowly starting to close down the stream. Wolf says, "Wolfwine." Oh, poor dear. Poor dear. Hello, Alice. Atta girl was always my favorite among them all. Also, she fixed it now, so now we have double billing. Hello, Ellie. I am doing the best I can. It is good to see you. How are you doing? Otep says, "Oh darn, I missed it. If only I had the funding to send you a quick 100. Oh, you don't have to send me anything. It's quite alright, Otep. Ellie says, "I somehow sneaked a lesbian flag at my workplace with my coworker in the back room. So quite happy. Congratulations, Ellie." Aw, poor Vermilion. Thank you so very much for the $2, Nix. I appreciate it. Take my money for I have no sanity left. Winter says I had no sanity to begin with. Nix. Such a good NB. Good NB. Good kitty. Otep says, "Never. Now that you're back, I must save up to send you all the muns." It's quite alright, Otep. Thank you so very much, though. Nick says I lose it. Jeez, why? Vermilion says, "I hope I could get to your level of voice acting." Perhaps, Vermilion. If you would like, perhaps we could also do a collaboration together. Would you like that? Right, I posted my email into the chat. If you wish to, you can use that and contact me as you please. Winter says, "Forfeit all mortal possessions to the Foxo." Vermilion says, "OMG, can we?" Yes. If you want my voice, it is free to use. That is to say, yes, I would like to be a part of any projects that you want me to be a part of. And I would like for you to be a part of some of my projects, too. Believe it or not, I'm actually writing a yandere polycule. Would you like to be another member of the yandere polycule? Nick says, is that a decree from the council? Ellie says, also make a doll part 2. I know it's been years, but please. Honest to goodness, I don't know what I could be doing for a yandere doll part 2. I think you're talking about Annabelle, right? Annabelle, the doll that gained life and, you know, took the listener and got married. I don't know what to do for a part 2 to such a thing. Does the listener get turned into a doll or something? Maybe. Maybe. The honor is mine, Vermilion. Thank you so very much for expressing interest in joining. And thus, I shall do my part and write you into the series. Question, why not add Vermilion to the server? That's, well, first and foremost, to join the Discord server right now would mean that you would have to send me your ID to verify that you're, you know, above the age of 18 in order to join the server, because the server is 18 plus now. It had to be. Because, you know, things get really interesting there. And not everyone is willing to send over an image of their, you know, government-issued ID. And so, not everyone gets to pop in. Ellie says, yeah, make the listener a doll. Kind of like you did with the AI one. Archetype says, perfect, I shall sell all my positions and send the money to the fox with the pretty voice on the internet. Perfect plan. Yes, please don't. Please don't sell your possessions. Vermilion says, I'm fangirling right. Aw. Poor dear. Just take in a deep breath right now. Take in a deep breath with me. Pause. And slowly let it out. In. And out. Atta girl. Atta girl. Just remember, I am a person too, with my own flaws and my own foibles. Ellie says, how to join the Discord server? Been trying to kind of look around Patreon and other places, but I couldn't find any link. Ah, yes. If you scroll up in the chat, you will find that I've actually posted a address, my Gmail address. If you want to join the server, unfortunately, there is an ID requirement in order to join, in order to verify that you are above the age of 18. Yep, we've had like a couple of incidents with trolls and whatnot who also joined in and were causing a bit of trouble. That was like one of the reasons that it was first sealed off from the public. And then there was the Great Purge where I had to get rid of everyone who was not, you know... Yeah, I basically just had to do a mass culling. Very much needed, and honestly probably should have been this way from the start. Nick says I say the most out-of-pocket stuff at times. Daddy. You understand that I do that on the regular too, yeah. Oh, he's not here right now, Nix. I will be happy to take your call. Nick says I was talking about the moose having a natural predator in the killer whale. Danke. Nick says, I mean, if you wanted to, then sure, but get ready to hear me rant about the Honkai Impact lore for the 7th time again. I mean, granted, I also have my own rants about Final Fantasy and Doctor Who and occasionally Supernatural. Also, I have become a very huge Hunger Games fan over the course of the past couple of months. I'm planning on getting the original novels and reading through those, because I've heard that they are more expansive than the movies. I look forward to doing so. Ellie asks also a question, if you don't mind me asking, why do you do a lot of content F for F? Quite happy when it comes about your content because how able your voice is to even make different characters, which is not easy. So the question being, why do I make lesbian content? The answer is very simple. I am a lesbian. I don't really write F for A content, and I probably will never make a straight-up F for M video. Not unless someone paid me an exorbitant amount of money to do so, and it was the queerest form of straight relationship in existence. Those are the only circumstances in which I will ever make an F for M video. Like, say I was paid, like, $5,000 off the cuff, and I could also make it the gayest straight relationship possible. Even then, I might still just turn it down. So, good luck. Yeah, but just primarily, I feel the most comfortable making lesbian content. Nick says, almost every book is more expensive than their movie counterpart. Wolf says, before I saw Hunger Games, I thought it was a cooking show. Oh my gosh. Vermilion says Hunger Games is amazing. Yeah, I actually made an AU audio. An AU audio that honestly I'm thinking about going back and making a sequel to. Yeah, just try to flesh it out a little bit more. To flesh out this alternate universe a little bit more and see if maybe the listener is trying to bring down this tyrannical government of Panem. Ellie says, lucky for me to be a lesbian, I guess. Go right ahead, Nix. Well, anyways, I want to thank you so very much for stopping by and for being a part of the stream. I am very, very happy being back, both in state and doing this again. I've missed streaming. Being gone for about a month-ish was not a good thing. I like streaming. I like doing this. So thank you for stopping by again. It really, really means a lot to me. So please, make sure you get some good water in your system, make sure you get some lots of tasty food, and make sure that you keep going. Surviving is winning. And never forget to be out loud and proud about who you are. Thank you so very much. Good night.